All right, we have this question on Reddit. Now, on this question, we have, should I aim for a return offer? We have this person that says, new grad job search return offer. I'm interning at a company right now and I'm graduating in December. The company role is not what I want. I'm interning for an administrative role, but I feel that I want to work in a different field. Should I still go for a return offer since the job market is bad? And if I get a return offer, should I work there a bit while I try to transition to the field I want? Or should I just apply to jobs in the field I want, even though I'm not sure I'll get an offer since I won't be able to apply to internships anymore? Welcome to America, with not enough jobs, with not enough opportunities. I know we can all talk about how great the unemployment rate is, and I know we can talk about all the great things the media says to help us feel good about ourselves and how good our country is doing economically. But when you talk to the people on the ground level, and you talk to people who maybe are just trying to find work, it's not good. It's not that good. It really isn't. And we have this situation to where somebody has an internship. All right, I think we kind of understand what the concept is. When you have an internship, the best thing you could do ever in your life, no matter what you do, is take that internship and turn it into a full-time job. Because the jobs, the employers that are out there, the employers want to hire somebody who is good. Now just think about something like the NFL draft. In the NFL draft, you have first round picks, second, all the way up to 7. And there's a bunch of people who don't get drafted. Just think of getting drafted as affirmation by some team that you're any good. And if you don't get drafted, that's just telling the rest of the world, we don't think you're any good. 32 teams don't think you're good enough to draft. And really, when you're coming out of college, anytime you're coming out of college and you're a new person on the job market, you kind of go into this massive draft. Not that different from the NFL draft. And so when we think about this, you need to set the reputation you need to get that affirmation from a company that you're good. The easiest way to do this, to prevent yourself from struggling to find work as a college grad, is to work in your field. Whether that's a paid internship, an unpaid internship, whatever it may be. It may be a part-time job. You just need some sort of affirmation that somebody says, yeah, that guy's pretty good. That person has a psychology degree and they've been working internships in a psychology office. Okay, that makes sense. And so we have this person, they say they're graduating in December and they're making this really hard. And they're saying, should I take the job if they offer it to me, even though it's not the job I want? Now, it's a generalization. It's not true for everybody, and maybe you could find other opportunities. But the bridge that gaps between your college life and your professional life is an internship. And if you can get an internship and then a full-time job based off of that internship, because of that internship, you're in the club. You're now somebody who has been deemed important, somebody who's been deemed qualified to work. And then when you have that job, and this is very important, when you have that job, then you need to hold on to it. Hold on to it for dear life, because if you can work there for 2 years, that'll establish you with experience, that'll establish you with credibility that you need for the rest of your life. You think it's not all that important? It's just the rest of your life. It's no big deal. Right? That's up to you. Now, obviously, we all have our journey. We all take different directions in our journeys. Some of us meander through jobs more than others. But having the intentionality of having this plan in mind, get the internship, get hired by the internship host, and then your life will be able to start. Then you could be aggressive about what kind of job you want. Then you can be aggressive about the industry that you want. This is not rocket science. However, it's not taught. People don't teach this. I'm sure there are other people like me who teach it, but it needs to be said. And we need to understand. There needs to be a change to where we understand the process. Because here's what happens. as an employer. If I look at your resume and you've had 3 internships and not one of those hosting companies hired you full time, I start going, maybe that internship didn't go so well for you. I'll tell you a story. I worked for a company and we interviewed half a dozen internship candidates. And this gal came in and she was super sharp. She knew, boom, boom, boom. She knew exactly what was going on. You could tell her IQ was really high. She understood everything. And this was an agronomy position. And she goes, oh yeah, I grew up on a farm. I understand these sorts of things. And we're like, man, she's really sharp. She really gets it. And so we hired her. The first day she walked on the job, she said, oh, by the way, my family takes a 3-week vacation in the middle of summer. And I know I'm an adult now, but I'm going to take that vacation with my family during the summer, during a summer internship. And the funny thing that happened was she left. And she came back in 3 weeks. And a lot of the work that we needed done, a lot of the work that we were planning on giving to the intern, it didn't need to be done anymore. They missed out. She missed out on a lot of opportunities. And then when it became time to work, she didn't really know what to do. She didn't really help. And then it came out that, yeah, she grew up on a farm, but she didn't do any work on the farm. Her job was not to do was not to mow the lawn, was not to till the field, was not to plant, was not to harvest. She didn't have any of that. She grew up on a farm, but she did not do any farming. She had no experience whatsoever. And this is what happens in internships. And so as an employer, as somebody reading a resume, if I see that you didn't get hired by the host company, it makes me question. It generates a red flag. Not a reason for ignoring you or not hiring you, but it certainly makes me question whether I want to hire you or not. And see, these are the things that are not understood. Is that employers are people too, and they have to deduct things. They have to make assumptions based off of whatever it is on your piece of paper. Because your resume and your degree craft a story about you. It frames a story. It frames your entire life all in an 8x11 piece of paper. It tells the story of you. And if you ignore it, if you don't put a lot of emphasis on it, then you're not going to get hired for a job. Then things aren't going to work out that great. And so when the story on your piece of paper says you worked an internship yet didn't get hired full time, and actually you haven't had a job in a year since you graduated, yeah, that's a little unfortunate for you. And so these are the things we need to be thinking about as we're constructing resumes, as we're constructing our careers, is that we need to say the things that are important. We need to back them up, and we need to make sure that we bridge our life from college life to real life. That's it for today. I'm SB Graham. This is JobFerno. If you have any questions, send me an email at questions@jobferno.com. And as always, choose skills over money.